super impressive.
Rochi goes to the reverse.
Born to Peters. Let's go over the top to Poch. Now what? Doing it. Nylock in the corner. Drops in. Gabriella swings it across to Olsen. And they get that first triple.
No, not needed.
Townsville looking to punish them through Soa.
Townsville an opportunity to operate in the half court. Fowler again for the three. Soa with some space to operate. Little Euro step.
It's a top 4 showdown today as the Southside Melbourne Flyers host Townsville Fire at Parkville and mouth-watering Sunday afternoon WNBL clash. Top spot on the ladder is up for grabs for the Fire today, while for the Flyers, it's their chance to not only take a step further towards securing a top 4 finish, but stamp their championship credentials against one of the competition frontrunners. The players have arrived thanks to Minor Hotels, and we get set for a blockbuster clash this afternoon. Jess Webster with you, and we brought in the big guns on the desk today. It's my pleasure to welcome in former WNBL Coach of the Year, Laurie Chiswick, and 5-time WNBL champion and Olympian Michelle Timms to the coverage today. Laurie and Timsy, great to see you both. This is going to be a great clash.
Wow, I can't wait. What a way to spend your Sunday afternoon watching these two teams go at it. And it is so important for each of them for very different reasons. And Timsy, I haven't commentated with you for many, many years, so I'm also excited about that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great, Loz. I'm excited about that too, Laurie. But brings back a lot of memories down at Parkville, going back to Parkville Stadium, and that's where the mighty Boomers won their very first WNBL championship. So it's great being back down at Parkville.
Absolutely. So much to look forward to this afternoon. The final member of our commentary team today is Jess Robertson, courtside for us, and she caught up with Kayla George a few moments ago.
Kayla, of course, coming off a match that was cancelled due to the fire hazards around town. How was that? It's been a week between games, but how have you guys stayed mentally ready?
Yeah, I think, we've got a bit of a session in because obviously we had the game today, so we didn't want to have 2 days completely off. So, yeah, I think it's part of our job, being a pro and just handling adversity. And that was unfortunate that was the type of adversity we had to kind of deal with, not so much for us in the game, but for actually, the community. So just sending all love out to the community out there that's been affected. But back to us and just back to being focused to, playing this game and being ready, because that's what being a pro is about.
A 3-0 winning streak. You're looking for a 4th win in a row to stay in the top 4. It's a nice spot to be in at this time of year.
It's definitely better than the alternative of a 3-game skid. So, yeah, we're certainly liking the winning more than the losing. But, yeah, look, I think we've come into a bit of a good patch, and we're kind of finding our rhythm a little more and being a bit more consistent with how we wanted to play, and that's kind of what we were looking for the first half of the season. But the beauty of a season is that, you can find your ebbs and flows, and, yeah, sometimes it can look ugly, but as long as you're peaking at the right time and winning when you need to, I guess, hopefully we'll be okay.
Thanks, Kayla. Good luck today.
Thank you.
So wins against Adelaide, Sydney and Geelong in their last 3 matches prior to that game against Bendigo on Friday night being postponed. Kayla George is in absolutely fine form, showing no signs of slowing down, averaging the double-double this season, Timsy. Maddie Rochi is also playing a really important role for the Flyers.
She sure is, and I'm on seat 1A on the Rochi plane. Yeah, she's been fantastic all season, but in particular the last 3 games. So, being a point guard, I can't wait for the Rochi v Ellis battle. 2 of my favourite point guards in the league.
So many good matchups to look forward to today. Let's head into the Townsville camp. Top spot is on the line for them today, and Jess Robertson caught up with their American import, Lucy Olsen, a couple of moments ago.
Lucy, it's been 4 games, 7 days, a bit of a road trip for the girls. How are you finding the road trip and bonding with your new teammates this season?
Yeah, no, it's been fun. Definitely a long time, and I think we're ready to get home, but no, it's been a fun trip.
You, of course, played with Jade Melbourne in Washington in the WNBA, sorry. What was her elevator pitch to get you down to the WNBL? Because I know she's very passionate about it.
Yes. She just said everything was amazing. So for the most part, I believed her. I'm like, there's got to be some things wrong with Australia. But no, it's been great. And yeah, it was pretty easy to convince me.
A bit of a shock loss against Geelong last week, but then you mentioned a revenge game in the last match and you got the win. What have you learned from that? There was a bit of a shooting differential efficiency going on. What's been the focus for that game and then today as well?
Yeah, no, we definitely were upset about that loss, and I'm glad and proud of our team for coming back and winning, it's hard to do that after you just lost by 20 to the same team and then coming back and beating them on their home court. So proud of our team there, and we just got to stay focused and get this next game as well.
Thanks, Lucy. Good luck today.
Thank you.
So they bounced back to form on Friday night, beating Geelong by 24 points. Laurie Milasoa was, again, amazing in that game. 22 points. She shot 5 from 7 from three-point range as well. She was superb.
Well, she is 4th in scoring. She's 1st in three-point makes, averaging almost 3.5 a game at 44%. So the scout would be to run her off that three-point line, match up early on her in transition, because at every opportunity she is ready to shoot the 3-ball.
So what can we expect today, Timsy and Laurie? Top 4 clash, a blockbuster for Sunday afternoon hoops. Who might win and why?
Oh, Jess, come on. You know I don't like that question asked at the beginning of the game. I'm waiting till halftime. I'm sitting on that fence of mine, which I love.
I might join you, Laurie, because it's a tough one to guess, you know. I'm hoping that Southside get up and win purely because I want to start talking top 4, not top 3.
Oh, I love it. We're going to have a great contest today. Great crowd as well in at Parkville. Great to see the WNBL back at this venue. So 2nd taking on 4th in the competition. Who will come out on top today? It's the Flyers taking on the Fire at Parkville. Here we go. Kayla George with the opening tip to Bourne. Immediately they go for lock. And they can settle in here through Rochi. Averaging the 16 points this season. Kayla George gives it back to Rochi. She gets the scoring underway.
Well, that's a battle you talked about, Timsy, Rochi and Ellis, and they were going at it that first possession. Rochi got a nice little set, a good screen, and then bounced back for a shot.
These two sides have played each other twice this season. Southside won by 6 in round 3. And then Townsville turned the tables in round 7 to win by 21 as Ellis makes the move. Gets fouled on the way. And they play each other 2 more times in the run home, including today. And then again in round 15. So 4 matchups for the season between these two sides.
Well, it's a real test for Townsville, playing one of the top 3 teams. They've had 3 great wins in the last 3 games, but now today will really test them.
Let's head courtside and check in with Jess Robinson.
Well, guys, the vibes are here very high at Parkville for the first time this WNBL season. Of course, this is a battle between 2 teams with 2 very different weeks. One team being the Flyers, who are on fresh legs. Of course, their postponed game means that they haven't played in a week. Meanwhile, the Fire have had a road trip that's taken them up and down the coast, 4 games in 7 days. So it'll be a battle of fresh legs and energy. As we see, Maddie Rochi's already come out very strong to start this game. We'll see how it plays out.
It's just cute. Maddie Rochi making her presence felt. Flyers with an early 2-point lead.
And a good start for Southside. They've shown the last 2 possessions that they've been really patient and precise in the shot that they want to get, which is really important, not only to get a score, but also to stop the other team from running, because you know when to expect the shot and get a rebound.
Courtney Woods can't get it done from outside the arc. An opportunity for Fowler. Swings it into the corner for Ellis. Feet set. Lets it go. It's no good. Fowler with a rebound. And the putback. Scores a level. Born to Rochi, hands it off to George. They go to Peters. Looking for support. Fowler applying the pressure and sends it out of play.
Well, Kayla George knew as soon as there was a switch, she wanted to dive into the block and try and take advantage of it, but just a little, the ball just went a little awry.
Rochi to inbound to Peters. It's back to Rochi. Drives inside, just can't get the shot.
And that's when Rochi's at her deadliest, when she gets that seam or mid-on ball and just gets downhill.
So the Flyers have won 4 out of their last 5. The only loss in that stretch was a 10-point loss to Bendigo. What have you noticed, Timsy, about the last few weeks for the Flyers and how they've managed to get their season back on track?
Well, I noticed that their scoring is a lot better. You know, they averaged 74 points, but during that three-game stretch, great D by Southside, they're up to 97 points a game. And just across the board, all their shooting stats are up. And for me, the thing is that Rochi's shooting stats are up, but also her turnovers are down in the last 3 games, going from 4.9 to 2.1. So playing much better hoop.
And their decision-making, Timsy, I think, has been on display in those last few games as well.
Lead the Fire by 2. Early stages, opening term. Ellis misfires. George with a rebound, hands it off to Locke. Takes it down the floor, the fast transition, and Bourne gets it done.
That was really slow transitioning from offense to defense by Townsville then.
Last time they played, Izzy Bourne, 28 points, 3 rebounds and a couple of steals.
You know what, Southside is such a different team as we see on the replay. Just too easy. Izzy Bourne snuck behind Woods' head and got that pass. There was no heat on Locke. But you know what, I decided not even looking back at that last game because this is such a different Southside, not in personnel, but the way they're playing. So I'm not even going to think about the last time they met, even though they're 1-1.
How quickly things can change in this competition. Yeah. Woods off to Froling off the glass for 2.
Well, you have to think that Townsville are a slightly different team too, with Cox now out of the lineup. Even though she was coming off the bench, she was really instrumental in just their game plan and what they brought to the court, what she brought to the court.
Here's Tara Reid into the action, bounces off the rim. Bourne with a rebound, good hustle. And goes herself off the left and converts.
I feel like the last few games with various teams, we've always been talking about offensive rebounds, how important they are, and teams that just are relentless on the boards. And we just saw there what getting that O board, that second chance opportunity means.
Froling working against Reid. And it couldn't bobble in. Reid with a rebound and then gets fouled.
Froling saying and one as she went down. She thought she was fouled and was really hoping that ball was going in the rim. I like how Southside's really changed their defense up too, Laurie. They run a switching zone last few times, or they started the game that way.
George looks to go to Peters. It's knocked out of play.
There's the leader of this group, Christy Harrower.
What an IQ. Unbelievable basketball IQ.
Nice team play. Rochi feeds Bourne. And we're heading to a timeout here in the first quarter. The Flyers have got the jump on the Fire. They lead 12-6. Strong start to the Flyers, looking to make it 4 in a row and 5 wins from their last 5 games. As Jess Robinson mentioned earlier, they've got the fresh legs. Their game against Friday night against Bendigo has been postponed. Townsville did play on Friday night against Geelong. So the Flyers have the fresh legs. Fire on a mini road trip at the moment before spending 4 of the next 5 at home. But Christy Harrow will be pretty pleased with how they've started today's game.
Well, they will. I think they've been really particular in the way they've been playing right now. They've had some good transition baskets where they've looked to run and kick it ahead and be very accurate with their passing. And then when they have been in the quarter court, they've executed really well. So far, you'd be really happy.
Well, let's have a listen at what Christy Harrow had to say about the Fire's scoring power pre-game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is trying to, they got so much scoring power in their team, Townsville, and trying to be able to control, Miller is a big ask. And but there's other people that can step up for them when somebody else is down. So if we can stick with our team defense and take control of what we're doing offensively, hopefully we'll be okay.
Certainly, they do have plenty of scoring power. 5 players averaging double-digit figures. The Townsville Fire, Mila Soa leading the way, averaging 17.8 points.
Yeah, and of those, 4 of them shoot above 40% from the three-point line.
Like,
they are shooters.
Yeah.
Well, Jess Robinson was listening in to the Fire huddle at that last time out as Mila Soa gets her scoring underway. Jess, what do they have to say in the huddle? We might get back to Jess in a couple of moments. This play continues here in the first quarter. Flyers 12, Townsville 8. Oh, big contact.
Oh, I'd like to see that on replay. I'm thinking flop. I think
she got a bit of
a shoulder. She got an elbow. She got
Yeah,
a shot.
Yeah.
An
I
elbow
think you can just
to
see.
the throat.
Yeah.
But there was no body contact. But you got to call that.
So great to see Courtney Woods back on the court with this team. She just brings, besides her scoring, where she's averaging 13.2 points per game. It's her presence, it's her demeanor, it's her calmness. She is the glue player on that team.
It's her ability to come off the on-ball in that game against Geelong. That was just a piece of art.
Let's head courtside to Jess.
Hey guys, well, Shannon Seaborn essentially said we're letting them do whatever they want and the transitions are coming far too easy. So let's get back to our style of play. And they've come out and it's looking a little bit better. So I think Shannon will be pretty happy with that.
Thanks, Jess. Here's Courtney Woods, hands it off to Fowler. Feet set for three, is off target. It's taken away by Bourne. Flies by 4. They work it to Reed. Hands it back to George. Now to Bourne, has Woods for company. Fires out a pass, but it's gone out of play. It'll be a Townsville ball.
It was the right idea, some good movement off the, off the interior pass, off the interior action, just a little bit of miscommunication.
5 minutes to play in this first quarter. Woods over the top to Fowler, into the corner for Soa. Lets it fly for 3.
And that's what Townsville do so great. They share the ball. They know exactly where each other is going to be on penetration.
Number 4 in the WNBL for scoring, Kayla George from long range.
What a great answer by Kayla George.
Back out to that 4-point margin. Woods to Ellis. Swinging across to Frolling, now to Woods. Steps around Peters, works away inside, puts it up, it's no good. Reed with the rebound. Handing it off to Rochi. Runs it down the floor, swings it across to George. And look to go to Bourne, working on Soa. Rolls out, and Townsville ball.
I like the tempo, the pace, Timsy, that Southside are playing at. They're really looking at getting a rebound, getting a great outlet pass and pushing it ahead. But you can see Kayla George on the trailing 3, never in doubt.
Great shot on the Amy replay. Olsen checks into the game for the Fire. Here's Fowler. His fires. Spills to Rochi. Rochi gets it back to George. Now here's George in the corner. Bounces off the rim. Peters with the O-board. And the putback for 2.
Peters the X factor.
Yep.
She's so blue collar. I love everything about that player.
Pushes their lead out to 6. Olsen off the left, nice work.
And really balanced with Olsen coming back off the bench, having to start for Woods while she was injured. It wasn't a negative, but I like it when she's coming off the bench for them.
Rochi no good for 3. Woods takes it away, hands it to Olsen. Now she goes for it from outside the arc, also bounces off the rim. Peters races down the floor, hands it off to Rochi. Now drives away inside, that bounces in. Strong start here to the Flyers. Now Woods. Nicely done.
Courtney Woods is so crafty,
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
word you want to use for her. She just has such a feel for that, what to do off the pick and roll and how to control her body.
Peters in the corner, no good. The rebound to Olsen. Hands it off to Frolling. Soa, but it's stolen away by Rochi. He takes it all the way down the floor and converts. Takes a tally to 6 points in this opening quarter. Bourne with the 8. Soa leading away for the Fire with 5. Here's Fowler, swings it into the corner for Woods, who knocks it down.
Yeah, Southside Melbourne got caught off with their rotations in that zone, then leaving the baseline wide open on the swing pass.
Great contest unfolding. Flies by 3.
I think this is the sort of game we're going to see for the full 40 minutes. I don't think there's going to be massive leads. I think it's going to stay pretty close.
Well, we're halfway through WNBL26, so don't miss your chance to catch a game live this summer. It's the perfect family day out, packed with energy, atmosphere, and unforgettable moments. There's nothing quite like being in the crowd and being part of the action. So scan the QR code on your screen now, or visit WNBL.com.au to find a game near you and get your tickets. Approaching the final minute of this first quarter at Parkville. Flyers 21, Townsville 18. Here's Mila Soa, already knocked one down from long range. Make it 2 in this opening quarter. Christiao has seen enough. We're having a timeout here with scores level, 21 apiece. Mila Soa with 8 points. Get another look here on replay.
Just great movement by Soa when the pass got passed inside. She just relocated so that Fowler could see her and make sure that she got a good pass to her. And we always know when Soa has her feet set, chances are it's going to go in.
Reed just totally lost contact with her. Sure, Christy won't be happy with that set. You know, she gave the ball up there when a stick went through.
So what have the both of you noticed tactically about how this match is unfolding in the first quarter?
Well, Timsy, I think you mentioned it. I like how Southside are changing up their defense. That matchup zone is causing Townsville not so much problems, but they have to think about it. They can't just freely move the ball at will. And I think that's been a really good strategy.
They're in fine form at the moment. The Flyers won 3 in a row against Adelaide, Sydney, Geelong. Townsville, a tough test for them. Their side has been a little bit kind of disjointed in the last couple of weeks. Of course, Lauren Cox went down with that knee injury in round 11. Courtney Woods missed 4 games with a hamstring injury, made a return against Geelong in their loss and didn't score, but bounced back with 11 points in a 24-point win against the Venom on Friday night. So they've been a bit unsettled. They've been travelling a lot lately, Townsville. But looking to generate some momentum in the last few weeks of this season. This is the second game of the round as Rochi makes a move, can't get the finish. It's taken away by Olsen, hands it off to Soa, Froling wide open and converts.
Well, that pass from Soa was because you have to pick her up at that 3-point line, and so that left the middle of the key wide open, so really good vision by Soa.
An offensive foul going against Bourne. So we see Manny Potch check into the game. Bourne takes a rest. Horvat also onto the floor for the Fire for these last 34 seconds.
And Chantel Horvat's been good since she's come back from injury as well. She's really a rock-solid role player coming off the bench.
Oh, I love her. She's super defensively.
Olsen pulls the trigger for 3. Good response from the Fire after the Flyers established an early lead in this first quarter. Currently lead by 5.
And this is what I think we're all waiting to see, how Rochi will handle this pressure, be it scoreboard or, you know, in your jock pressure. And she's starting to answer back to the referees, so we want to keep an eye on that because she's having such a tremendous season. That's the one area of her game that needs to go to the next level.
7.5 seconds. Rochi hands it off to Peters. Now they go back to Rochi. Works her way inside. Well defended by Fowler. But Potch steals it away. On the buzzer to mark the end of this first quarter at Parkville. An entertaining clash between these two top 4 sides. And at quarter time, it's the Townsville Fire 26 leading the Southside Melbourne Flyers 23. Back in a moment with the second term. Townsville, 2 top 4 sides in the WNBL going head-to-head this afternoon. And at the first quarter-time break, it's the Townsville Fire 26, leading the Southside Melbourne Flyers 23. Jess Webster with you in commentary this afternoon alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year Laurie Chiswick and 5-time champion and Olympian Michelle Timms for us today as Kayla George for 3 to kickstart the second quarter with a bang.
It's always a good sign when Kayla George comes out and looks aggressive with her shot, wanting to shoot it instead of passing it.
Jess Robertson is courtside for us this afternoon, and she was around the Flyers huddle at quarter time. Jess, what did Christy Harrower have to say?
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, Christy was super vocal about getting defensive under the ring. That's where they need to bring the pressure because the Fire were getting some nice, clear shots under the ring in that first term. Hayley Peters and Maddie Rocci both super vocal, and you can see them super aggressive in that first term. So, yeah, Kayla George coming out strong, but the Flyers definitely taking it to the Fire.
Thanks, Jess. Scores a level here in the second quarter as we see an offensive foul called against the Flyers.
I didn't see that.
Olsen handing it off to Froling. Fumble. Olsen recovers, gives it to Soa. He's got the hot hand of late.
You know, I love how Townsville understand that if you get an offensive rebound or something, the defense is all collapsed in there. Next best thing, kick it out to your shooters like Soa.
Kayla George can't respond at the other end. The rebound to Fowler. Ball back to Olsen. Top of the arc, knocks it down.
Just a breakdown in communication between George and Reed then, both defending the same player.
Yeah, I knew at halftime when Townsville were 4 from 8, 50%, that they are going to continue to shoot those threes and make them. So it's something that Southside really have to make sure they close out long and carry a hand.
50% from three-point range so far today. The Townsville Fire, Flyers 25%.
There's the breakdown right there, both deep in the key.
The other thing that interested me at that quarter time break was Southside haven't gone to the foul line yet. So they're not putting enough pressure on the rim to perhaps allow Townsville or give the referees the opportunity to call some fouls.
Well, they did go in there 3 times in a row and got 2 questionable calls against them just before quarter time. That sent coach and players into a bit of a spin towards the end of that quarter. So, but you're right, you've got to have that mix of inside, outside.
George Andrews, Marissa Potch and Peters on the floor to start the second quarter. We see another foul called off the ball.
Potch and Froling wanting an intentional. Good to see that on the replay. Yep, intentional call.
So I just send Froling to the line. Well, there's no better way to show your club loyalty this WNBL season than repping your favourite player's jersey. Whether you're in the stands or watching from home, you can wear it with pride. Check out this season's full range of club merch now at WNBLstore.com.au. There's a bit of tension out there at the moment. Townsville 33, Flyers 26. Opening minutes of this second quarter. 5 by 3 at quarter time. Olsen over the top to Froling, up against George, puts it up, it's no good. George hands it to Potch in the corner. It looks good back to George. Up against Froling, swings it across to Marissa. Now works her way inside, she loses it. Olsen, well defended, takes it away.
There was your penetration, Laurie.
Yeah.
Foul against Potch.
That's her second, and she'll have to, as you can see her in screen there, jogging off to the bench. It's pretty disappointing. She's been playing so well, in particular these last 3 games. Shooting the ball at 60%, 9 points from her usual 3 points a game.
scored 27 in the last 3 weeks. I think 10 points last week against Geelong. Manny Poch.
Well, more importantly, Southside now have 3 fouls as a team with under 7 minutes, you know, that have been being played.
Fowler wins it back for the Fire. Give it to Soa. Prolific scorer for the Fire. Now to Olsen. Works away inside off the left. Can't get the roll. One with the rebound. Hands it off to George. Ritchie back to George. Pulls up for 2. Got it done.
So Kayla George and Timsy, we were almost talking about this before the game.
We were.
The anticipation of the dribble handoff. Her defense shifted over, just anticipating that was going to happen. And Kayla then went the other way, and it's just a nice, easy mid-range shot.
Ball goes out of play. Fire with possession. Take another look. Kayla George doing what she does best.
And also reading the D, like how good,
Yeah.
you know, how good was that?
Yeah.
Like, she knew that her man was falling asleep, like you said, and expecting that.
115 points, nearly 11 rebounds and 4 assists per game in her 18th WNBL season. Wood sends it out to Abby Ellis from downtown. How about that?
Wow, she just sort of looked at her feet. Where am I? No, I can shoot this.
Handy lead now for the Fire. They're up by 8. Let's check it all out on the Amy replay. Perfect. Fire with the edge. Fly's looking to respond here. Halfway through the second quarter. Offensive foul. Christy Hauer asking the question.
You're just going to be careful now they don't compound that by getting a tech.
Well, and now they have to be really careful.
Yeah,
and,
14
you know,
fouls.
keep their hands out, because every foul from here on in sends Townsville to the line, and you know, you don't want to give them easy baskets.
Fowler. That's a foul.
They missed the clear travel then. No foul. Going back into that zone there has been a good thing for them. You just got to make sure when you're in a zone, you're not defending. You're defending man to man.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got to make sure you shift your feet, keep the man in front of you. It's not okay for the man to just put the ball on the floor and go by you in the zone.
Bourne. Make a move against Froling, hands it off to Rocci. Now back to Bourne, pulls the trigger from outside the arc, it's no good. Oh, Marissa, heavy landing. She's held to her feet, she looks okay, which is good news. So what can Southside do to settle things here?
Well, I think they need to continue to know. They need to know the scouts. They need to know. We know that's what Courtney Woods does. She penetrates in. We know she's crafty off the on ball. So maybe you have to try something different. Maybe you have to get it out of her hands, double it, be aggressive. But right now, it's Townsville are really getting what they want.
It's a double-digit lead at the moment, the highest of the game so far. Marissa in the corner. Can't get it to go, Froling with the rebound. Woods looking for support. She draws contact.
Just a silly foul. There was no need to foul that Warrior. Her man, you know, there was a player right in front of the man with the ball. As you see it here. Andrews gets caught up. Bourne's got it, so it's an automatic switch.
Yeah.
Got a timeout on the floor here in the second quarter. Townsville Fire made the move here in the second. They lead the Flyers 38-28. So the Flyers had a good start in that first quarter. Townsville hit back late to take a 3-point lead into quarter time, and they've really asserted their authority here in the second. Things falling apart slightly for the Flyers.
Yeah, that was always going to be the big question, wasn't it? Is how are they going to respond? against a top 3 team when the pressure's slightly different than what they've been handling the last few weeks. I honestly think they just need to go back to what offensively is being precise, which they were at the start of the game. They were very precise and deliberate, and they need to make sure they're executing offensively, setting good screens, waiting for screens, a little bit of a scramble offensively at the moment.
And I think they need to be, the flip side is more disruptive defensively. Right now, Townsville, to me, look really comfortable. They don't look under any sort of duress or pressure. They're able to execute what they want, and they're looking for each other, so they need to be better at that.
4.5 to play in this second quarter. Fire up by 10. Jess Webster with you alongside Michelle Timms and Laurie Chiswick in commentary this afternoon. The Flyers aiming for 4 in a row this afternoon. Wins against Adelaide, Sydney and Geelong. As Courtney Woods finds herself at the line. Different preparations for these two sides coming into today. Of course, the Flyers game against Bendigo on Friday night was postponed. So they have fresh legs, but a bit of a disruption coming into today. And then the Fire as well have had a mini road trip of late. They've already played on Friday night. So do they have the legs to run it out in the second half? A couple of question marks on both these sides today. Let's head courtside and check in with Jess Robinson.
Yeah, guys, something I thought worth noting about the Fire is that in their loss against Geelong earlier in the week, Geelong had them shooting their field goals efficiency at just 35%, and the Venom were able to get the win. And then Townsville adjusted later in the week against Geelong again, where they won, but shooting their field goal efficiency at 52%. So that's almost a 20% difference today in this opening term. Their field goal efficiency is sitting at 55%. From the arc, 50%. Soa, Olsen, Ellis getting involved from the arc. Froling under the ring really strong. This intense schedule on the road doesn't seem to be a bother for the Fire. They've adapted pretty well.
Thanks, Jess. Here's Bauer. Shot clock ticking down for the Flyers. Rochi goes for it and misfires.
I think, you know, I'm not sure about the conversation about being on the road and playing a game 2 days ago, because every single team has had to go through that in the course of the fixture. Now, if you have, 5 games in a row, as we see Maddie Rochi come up with a great steal, a much-needed basket, then maybe you talk about fatigue. I think of Perth playing Geelong after they had played, 4 games or something. But I think everybody has to go through this at some stage during the schedule.
Woods gets fouled.
Rochi just coming over there to help.
Here's the Rochi steal a couple of moments ago. Just waited for a moment to strike.
It was great, and she got a man on the back too. And here we'll see the other foul. Rochi coming in.
Yeah.
The hand caught in the cookie jar. Technical foul. Not good. Not quite sure who got that.
Whether it was a player or a bench, maybe Jess can allude to that. Let us know.
It's the second tech foul for the Flyers this quarter.
Christie gets tossed on the next one, doesn't she? Rory, is that right?
If it's a bench, I think if it's 2 bench fouls you're talking.
On the third, yeah. Yeah, after
no, I
two,
think after
the second.
Yeah. Joe Woods would have to step up and take over the reins. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Woods converts all 3 free throws. Pushes the margin out to 12. Flyers haven't been to the free throw line at all yet today, so far. Need to get themselves back into the contest here, Bourne. Oh, George, and she gets it done. Nice teamwork. George up to double figures now, 10 points. Ellis hands it off to Olsen, now back to Ellis. Into the corner for Froling, feet set. He's off target. Rochi to George, now to Lock, back onto the floor for the Flyers. Off to Bourne and off the left for 2.
What a great pass, great penetration, something like Laurie you've been on about. Yeah. She really did a super job, an excellent pass. Good energy.
Woods handing it off to Froling. Now to Olsen. Wide open for three. Can't get it done. Spills to Locke. With speed to Rochi for two.
That's what they need. That little bit of energy can change pretty quickly. Back to a 6-point game and a much-needed timeout called by Shannon Seabohm from the Fire.
Margin was 12. Now it's back to 6 as you take a look at some of these last buckets to the Flyers. Much-needed ones. As you mentioned, Laurie, it's just all about the energy. See Maddie Rochi fired up.
Well, momentum's a great thing in the game, isn't it? You know, you think a team's just sort of cruising and Townsville are looking the goods, and then all of a sudden they get a couple of steals, that energy, a nice pass, a teammate, and the momentum swings completely.
Yeah, and imagine, they've weathered a bit of a storm. It could have been even less if they hadn't got the 2 tech fouls.
Very true.
Townsville's next 4 games, they return home to take on the Caps, an away trip to Perth. And then they're back home for their final 3 games against the Flyers, the Caps and Bendigo in their final match at home.
We have to remember that next round, even if it's a home game, they're all being played in Perth in Hoops Fest. So that's something, it sort of neutralizes that home court advantage and home court crowd, unless you're Perth, of course.
Yeah.
Southside's next few games, Adelaide, and round 15, back-to-back games against Townsville and Perth. That's a massive round 15 for them. They finish off their season, Adelaide Caps and Adelaide again.
And don't forget, they've got to fit in a Bendigo game somewhere in that fixture as well.
And Friday night postponed. So we wait to see when that is going to be rescheduled.
And so this is why this game is so important and gives us a good indicator of where Southside are really at. You know, they've had those 3 great wins against teams that are below them, but now to be able to come out and produce against a team that's in the top 3, and they've got some big games coming up against those teams as well. But great running.
Great pass from Rochi to Locke, just couldn't get a handle on it. Eight-point lead to Townsville. Final 2 minutes of the opening half. Woods in the corner, makes a move. Well defended by George. Bowyer with ball in hand, hands it off to Rochi. Back to Bowyer, now swings it across to Locke. What should do here? And back to George, and now Rochi, who accelerates, puts it up off the right. Did he get the roll? Bourne fighting hard for the rebound, keeps it alive. Looks to go to George. Under pressure, the reverse, no good. Out of play, Southside ball.
Way to stay on it by Kayla George.
Yeah.
It was really good persistence too.
That was a tough pass that she had to navigate getting out of the air to try that reverse layup. So yes, good effort.
Rochi to Bowyer, back to Rochi. Bowyer gets around Woods, now puts it up, it's no good. And Bourne with another rebound, keeps it alive and gets the foul.
You know, the last month, Bourne's rebounding has gone to the next level. It's really helped Southside, especially offensively. I thought that was the one thing that was probably missing from a game, was the ability to, you know, consistently get on the offensive glass.
Flyers leading the rebounds 20 to 14 at the moment.
All that was monster defense. That was really great D.
She hands it off to Fowler, puts it out to Ellis. Oh, and that hurts. Big response down the other end for the Fire.
Well, it does hurt because the scout would certainly be Ellis. 52% from the 3-point line. Run her off of it.
Bourne misses a triple attempt. Here's Ellis handing it off to Woods. Back-to-back threes for the Fire. Bang, bang.
It's a mess defensively for Southside Melbourne. You have to play defense like your life depends on it. You got to fly around the court, and there's just not that desperation right now, or communication. Great pass by Rochi though.
Taylor George adds to a tally
again, that was Kayla George reading her defense. She was being overplayed, so just a nice backdoor cut and a really good find, as you said, by Maddie Rocci.
Fire led by 12 midway through this quarter. The Flyers got to within 6. Now the Fire have pushed it back out to 12 points. Final few seconds of the second quarter. Horvat for 3. Bounces off the rim. Bourne with a rebound. And that'll do us. The opening half here at Parkville. Top 4 clash between the second place Townsville Fire and the 4th place Southside Melbourne Flyers. And at the major break, it is the Fire leading by 12, 50-38. And they extended their quarter time lead of 3 points. Great contest unfolding this afternoon. A few things for the Flyers to work out at half-time as they aim to make it 4 in a row this afternoon. Kayla George leading the way with 12 points. Maddie Rocci with 10. Izzy Bourne with 10 as we head courtside to Jess Robinson.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Courtney, that was a hot and feisty first half. A bit slow for you guys, but you definitely got it back on your terms in that second term.
Yeah, I think whenever you're playing players like Rocci and George, you know, they're going to give it absolutely 200%. So we're just trying to match that, if not even better, and hopefully we can do it for another 20 minutes.
Speaking about Rocci, also Izzy Bourne having a really big impact. What's the plan for them in the second half?
Yeah, I think just trying to limit them as much as we can. I think like great players like that, they're going to score, but just trying to make them do things they're a bit uncomfortable with. But expecting a very hard second half as always.
Good luck, Courtney.
Thank you.
Courtney Woods, 16 points in that opening half. A hot start to the Fire. And for Courtney Woods, back in a moment with Laurie Chiswick and Michelle Timms to analyse the first half. See you after break.
Mix a little sugar and spice. I've been getting ready for a party under the sun. Wake up, get some before all the damage is done. So come on.
Headphones. I need my headphones.
I'm finishing up my MBA, so I suppose my laptop is very crucial at this time, especially with the assignments due just around the corner.
My AirPods. And like the past year, it's been my Kindle. I like having my Kindle with me.
My Sudoku book, absolutely. My headphones and a snack. I read a lot, so I can't travel without a book or my journal. Can't travel without lip balm. Can't travel without face wipes, deodorant, perfume.
It would be my PS5, my gaming console. I take it everywhere. I have it here with me at the moment.
I can't travel without my paw, phone charger, snacks for Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah, have to.
Pearl's favourite snack?
When we're driving and stuff and on the road, like she loves Yakult. It's like the little Yakult drinks and Up and Goes.
Welcome back to Sunday afternoon WNBL hoops. The Townsville Fire leading the Southside Melbourne Flyers by 12 points at halftime. Jess Webster with you at the desk alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year Laurie Chiswick, five-time champion and Olympian Michelle Timms. Interesting first half we have seen. Townsville Fire look like they are locked into this contest. Maybe some ill discipline creeping into the Southside Flyers in that second term, cost them dearly with a couple of tech fouls.
Well, I think that's, that's all about pressure, and that's the pressure that Townsville have been able to exert. I thought it was really neck and neck in that first quarter, but I thought the second quarter, Townsville became really clinical in what they did. But if you look at this match stats, there's some crucial things there. 0 free throws for Southside Melbourne, and the other thing is the turnover count. Townsville have done an excellent job of keeping the turnovers at 3 and taking care of the basketball.
And the other glaring one is the three-pointers as well. 2 from 11 from the three-point line's not going to get it done.
These are the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. Townsville Fire by 3 points at quarter time. The Flyers owned the first half of that first quarter. Then we saw a couple of momentum shifts in the second. The margin got out to 12. Flyers brought it back to 6. We went to a timeout, and then Townsville settled in the back end of that second quarter. So they're answering the challenge at the moment. Timsy, what do the Flyers need to do in the second half to settle things down and get the match back on their terms?
Well, they've got to play their style, which we've seen the last 3 weeks, is knowing where that shot's going to come from, reading what the defence is giving you, playing with poise, not wasting fouls, and I think the communication is a thing for me too. Defensively, as when you're playing a game where you're trying to switch in defence, you need to be great communicators, and I felt like communication-wise they've broken down a little bit today.
The Blackmores head-to-head, Courtney Woods, 16 points in the opening half up against Maddie Rochi, who's got the 10 points to half-time. Courtney Woods, in her third game back from a hamstring injury, didn't score in her first game, had 11 points against Geelong last Friday night. Here she is with 16 at half-time. Her season best, Laurie, 23 points against the Flyers way back in round 3. So what an opening half to the
Well,
skipper.
there's not enough superlatives to talk about Courtney Woods and the work rate she has, her basketball IQ. We talk about her being a glue player. She can score, she's a rebounding, but she brings the team together, and I think there's a certain calmness about the team when she's on the court and what she can bring, and her craftiness on the on-ball is exceptional. So it's great to see her back and right into form straight away. Maybe she'll surpass her season best.
I'll add one more stat to that, and that is that in the last game, the last 2 games of her comeback, she hadn't scored a three-pointer. So here she is, lighting it up.
Yeah. Speaking about three-pointers, Mila Soa knocked a few down in that opening half. She's just in such fine form. We spoke about her pre-game, but what do you love the most about the way that she goes about things, Laurie?
Well, I like that she's always, to me, she plays with the same level of energy. She always has she's light on her feet, she goes hard, she's always ready to shoot the ball. She's got good court vision. She's driven it a couple of times, but her three-point shooting is second to none. She just gets it, lets it fly, and if she misses one, she will shoot the next one. So she's been exceptional out there, as she has really all year in her three-point shooting.
This Ford shot chart's pretty impressive. The 11 points, 4 from 5 for the field, 3 from 4 from three-point range. Timsy, what do you want to see from Townsville in the second half? More of the same? Do you feel like they're performing well and just got to continue on with it?
Absolutely. They're playing great, especially defensively. They're causing issues down the offensive end for Southside Melbourne, and I like how they got a bit of a slap at quarter time or just before quarter time, and they've come out and they've really cranked it up defensively, and that's shown in the amount of turnovers, 9 turnovers for Southside Melbourne. And they're just got to do the same old, same old. They're really cooking at the moment.
Absolutely. If they win today, the Townsville Fire, they will take over top spot on the WNBL ladder. At halftime, they lead the Flyers by 12 points. What has Southside Melbourne got in the second half? Stay with us. We've got a massive third quarter to come after the break.
Everybody knows about it. Everybody hold on it. Coming up the whole
Welcome back to Sunday afternoon action at Parkville. The Townsville Fire leading the Southside Melbourne Flyers 50-38 at halftime. Jess Webster with you in commentary alongside Laurie Chiswick and Michelle Timms. And the basketball royalty continues on the coverage this afternoon. Let's head courtside to Jess Robertson with a very special guest.
Yes, we have a WNBL legend in the house at Parkville, 10-time coach, WNBL winning coach. Tom Ma, you're with us today. What are you liking about this top four clash?
Oh, it's a fun game. It's lots of interesting stuff happening, and I love day games, so wouldn't miss out.
We were just talking about it. You still get out to a lot of the games, but you watch most of the games as well. So what are you liking about the competition? Who's standing out to you so far?
Well, the teams that are on top are the ones standing out, I think Townsville probably deserves to be that much ahead at this point in time. I don't think Southside have done so badly, but just too few contributors.
And the Fire, of course, we've been talking about their 4 games in 7 days. Did you ever have a schedule like that back in the day?
Absolutely. We used to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, interstate, fly there, fly back. 3 games in 3 days.
Oh, we love it. Enjoy the rest of the game, Tom, and thanks for being here.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks so much to Jess and Tom. Laurie and Timsy, I'd love to know your favourite Tom Ma stories that you've got for me, or memories.
Oh, well, Timsy, you'd have a
He's
lot
just
more
a
than
genius
me.
coach, but I'm thinking about the good old days when we did have to play 3 games in one weekend.
You'd
That
go to
brought back-
Adelaide?
and you get billeted. The good old days.
Good old days, absolute legend. Great to see Tom Ma in the house this afternoon. So we get set for a big third quarter here. So the Five laid down the challenge to the Fires. They're led by 3 quarter time, 12 here at half time. Abby Ellis hands it off to Soa. Back to Ellis, gets around Locke. Now swings it across to Fowler. They get Courtney Woods open, who was dominant in the first half. She's giving it off this time to Froling, who converts.
Just too easy. Like, she sold some serious candy as Rochi was flying out to her, but just made it look so easy.
Every single person on the floor for the Fire touched the ball in that last possession. Their ball movement and recognition of the
selflessness.
Wow.
It's amazing, yeah.
What do we think Christy Harrow had to say to the Flyers at halftime?
Well, Christy often in her press conferences talks about the physicality and that they want to be physical. They don't want any team to be able to beat them in that department. And I think that they need to get a little bit more disruptive and make them feel uncomfortable, make the Fire feel uncomfortable in what they're doing. Because right now it's just too easy.
Without fouling.
Yeah, controlled aggression,
yes.
isn't it, Timsy?
Yes, indeed.
Townsville 52, Flyers 38. Abby Ellis to Woods. Now to Fowler, wide open for 3. Can't get it done. Rochi swings it across to George. Now to Bourne. Up against Woods. Spin move off the right. It's good.
I'd like to see a little more intensity. They could have made that a fast break situation, I thought, with Locke there if they pushed that ball a little harder.
Fowler bounces off the rim. Back to Woods. 16 points in that opening half. Hands it off to Sora in the corner. They go back to Ellis. Fires for 3. It's no good. Out of play. Flyers ball. Ellis 8 points, 4 rebounds in that opening half. Woods with the 16 points, as we've mentioned. Soa with the 11. George and Bourne on 10 each for Southside. George taps it out to Locke. Rolls out.
That was great. That deserved to go in. That was a great tap on by George.
5 by 12. Woods penetrates inside, and the reverse is no good. But Froling with the rebound, under pressure by George, gets fouled.
They just play at their own pace, don't they, Townsville? They just like working the ball around, put the ball on the floor. I mean, if Rochi hits a screen, it's an automatic switch. So Kayla's got to get across there and take her.
One of the hardest skills in basketball is the closeout and then containing. And because Townsville are so good at the perimeter, at the three-point shot, you do have to close in long, but Townsville are so smart at recognizing that they can then punch it in. So it's a real tough dilemma, and it's a skill that's, I think is one of the hardest ones in basketball.
But if you back it up, that comes from not being able, the ability to keep your man in front of you, to create that penetration, to get that kick out.
Well, that's it. You have to close out with a hand, but then keep your center of gravity down so that they don't just blow by
I'm
you.
backing it up even further, saying the man with the ball, defending the ball, who is going to create that kick, needs to be able to keep their man in front of him.
Here's Ellis working away inside, kicks it out to the corner. Froling to Woods. And that That's going to be an offensive foul against Woods. Roche stood her ground. What do we think, Laurie and Timsy?
Yeah, I think Roche got across her. I think she had her feet set. I think that was a good call.
Bourne takes it down the floor, handing it off to Locke, then back to Bourne. Draws the contact on her way through.
Good decision by Bourne to get it and rip and go to the basket, because Frawling had stepped off of her a little bit to help out, so wasn't quite in the right position.
Double territory is Izzy Bourne, 12.7 rebounds at the moment. As Frawling has a rest on the bench. 74% free throw shooter so far this season, makes the first.
Well, I'm glad to finally see them at the free throw line. Goodness me, that's the only time they've been so far this game. 2 for 2, go to their more.
2 and a bit quarters it took to see Southside at the line. And they're 100%. Back to within 9 points. For that, looks to go to Fowler. Referee spotted a foul.
Fowler did a really good job of owning that charge circle then. Nice low and wide, hooked her man around her back.
Ellis inbound to Fowler, should get it back. Runs around the perimeter, hands it off to Woods. Share it between the two of them. Now back to Ellis. Now she pulls the trigger and drains it.
You don't have to move much to get free, Timsy, relocating as a receiver.
Yeah. I thought the mismatch was Woods, George on Woods. I thought that was going, but then she made the extra pass to Ellis.
That's the thing, isn't it? So many options.
Turnovers 12-4. Halfway through this third quarter. Fowler loses handlance. Last touch flies, so it'll stay with Townsville. Woods handing it off to Soa. Denied by Peters. George hands it off to Roche, now to Locke. Back to Kayla. Handing it to Peters. Now they look to go to George. It's a foul.
Big
Look at this block.
Yeah, big block by Peters.
To restart play. They go to Peters. Under pressure. Send it out to Locke. Now looks to make her move. Draws the contact.
So do you sense, Timsy, there's a distinct change of plan for the Flyers in this second, at least the start of this third quarter, that they're really looking at putting way more pressure on the rim and trying to create that way?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, you know, they're getting some calls now too. It was 11-2 foul count, and things are starting to even up now. And Townsville now on 14 fouls, so we might see them at that foul line a little more now, Laurie.
Yes.
If they keep attacking, though.
Townsville by 14. It's 12 at half-time. Goes Woods over the top to Fowler. Sends it out to Horvath. Soa in the corner, takes on George off the left. Nicely done.
Yeah, and all created by miscommunication on the other side of the court with two players defending the one as George goes down. Has a bit of a giggle about it. I think she just slipped. They had a few breakdowns like that today, Laurie, with their communication.
There's a timeout on the floor. 5 minutes on the clock in this third quarter. Townsville on top, 58, leading the Flyers, 42. 16 points now the way of the Fire. How do the Flyers get back into this? We've spoken about it at half time, but it just, Fire keep answering every challenge at the moment.
Well, right now they're just trading baskets, and they've got to start making a bit of a dent in this lead that Townsville have. And again, I keep saying it and harping on it, they need to continue to be disruptive. I think they'll find ways to score. I just think they need to make Townsville do some things that they're not necessarily happy at doing. Get in the passing lanes. Now, having said that, Townsville are so well drilled. I think they read the defense, one of the best teams in the competition that do what the defense is giving them. But I still think that Southside need to be more disruptive.
The vocal home crowd here at Parkville trying to get behind their Southside Melbourne Flyers, who are facing a 16-point deficit against Townsville halfway through this third quarter. Top 4 spot on the line for the Flyers this afternoon. Townsville want top spot on the ladder. A lot to play for between these two sides.
And there is lots of time left in this game. We know momentum can play a huge part. It can swing. You know, Southside come up with well, that's not going to help it, that's for sure.
Steal by Horvat, and the finish extends the margin.
That's a coach killer out of a timeout, that's for sure. But they need to make hay while the sun shines. While Townsville have, you know, are in the bonus, Southside have got to put heat on the rim.
Nice feed to Peters, who converts.
Peters has done a really good job when she gets inside of holding her seals and being a nice target there and demanding the ball.
Olsen handing it off to Soa. The glass is no good. Spills to Locke. Peters receives from George. Looking for options. Gives it to Rochi. Takes on Ellis. Drives away to the basket for 2. 12 points, Maddie Rochi. Back to within 14.
I'm loving this battle.
Yeah.
This Rochi Alice. It's nice and physical.
Ellis returns serve. She hands it off to Horvat. They look to go inside to Fowler. 2 to beat, no worries.
Just so strong, such core strength.
Fast break from the Flyers. Bourne to Rochi. George to Peters. They work the perimeter. Now she looks to drive away inside. Takes on Fowler and converts.
Outside on ball will do a bit of damage if Olsen is defending Peters, because they'll switch and that'll create a mismatch. Or she can just put on the floor like she did.
Throw it to Olsen. Swing it into the corner. Fowler. Horvat. One-on-one against Peters. Puts it up. Oh, Fowler! Big contest against Rochi. They both go to the floor.
That was great defense by Bourne, though, wasn't it?
Which is good news. We'll get another look on the replay.
It really was. She was straight up.
Both had eyes for the ball.
Well, try and get that chin to the chest when you take a hit like that, so your head doesn't fling back on the ground. As we see Rochi's, you don't see it there, but she really took a. Oh, it's it on this one. Watch Rochi. She gets a double. She gets collected and hits her head on the ground. She's okay. She's tough as nails, that one. Remember Tom Ma teaching us that, Laurie?
I do.
Chin to chest as you're taking a charge, or if you get hit. I'm not quite sure.
I think a foul was called on Fowler, and they're in the bonus situation, so sends Rochi to the line.
Well, there's 1 week to go before Hoops Fest. It will tip off in Perth next week on Thursday. See all the NBL and WNBL teams do battle at RAC Arena, Australia's biggest basketball culture and lifestyle festival. Once again, take over WA with all the big stars, including Bryce Cotton there, plus NBA legend Allen Iverson as well. Get your tickets by scanning the QR code or visiting hoopsfest.com.au.
I'm excited about Hoops Fest, having every team there. Some big, big games to be played. Should be great.
Blockbusters next week. Cannot wait for it.
Boy, I
Ellis might have hurt herself here as she wears the contact. Let's take another look. Just landed on that elbow.
They're not so funny boned.
Yeah, they don't tickle.
Timsy.
Ellis, a 90% free throw shooter this season.
Timsy, being one of Australia's greatest all-time point guards, do you feel now I was watching Dallas Lockridge play last night. She had a great game. We've got Rochi here. We've got Ellis here. We seem to just be really, we've got some great point guards coming up.
Yeah, we certainly do. For a long time it was, who's our next point guard? We don't have a point guard.
Yeah.
And now we've got a plethora. And it's exciting.
Who's your favourite, Timsy?
I'm not saying they change each week, to be honest.
Oh, Rochi with the steal and can't quite keep it alive.
Well, this is a big couple of minutes. You know, 3 possessions in a row, not counting the foul shots. Southside have put the ball on the floor and got their feet in the key, and they've also had pass penetration.
Yeah.
Slowly, that's the recipe to slowly, unlucky, great hustle, love that. That's the recipe right there. It's not so hard.
Well, especially when you're only shooting 15% from the three-point line. Do something different. And I feel like that gives you a bit of energy too. When you punch the ball in the paint, whether it's dribble or pass.
Townsville by 12. Shot clock ticking down, so Olsen pulls the trigger. Overcooks it. Spills to Reed, who's into the action for the Flyers. Rochik receives from George, lays it up for 2.
Okay, here's this momentum swing that we thought might be coming from the Flyers.
Big possession. Big possession right here. Sorry, Jess. A bit excited.
We're all excited, Timsy. Here goes Ellis. Can't convert. Rebound to George.
They've got to run. Okay, they're not going to run, so they need a good quarter-court set here.
Final 90 seconds of this third quarter. Flyers looking to make their move. Rochi from the car park comes up a little short. Ellis takes it away. Horvat off the glass for a couple.
Oh, I didn't see what happened
No,
there.
neither did I.
And then all of a sudden she was wide open.
And watch he's on the ground.
Back out to 12 points. Lock. There's the contact. Check it all out on the Amy replay. Maddie Rochi layup.
You don't often see breakdown in communication like that from Townsville.
18 points now for Maddie Rochi. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple of steals. No look at the line.
And when you want penetration, this is one player who you want on the court in lock.
1 from 2. Townsville got out to as much as 18 points during this third quarter. Flyers have clawed their way back. And they get a stop. Great defense from Locke as it falls to Rochi. Hands it off to George. Peters, referee's found foul.
I was going to say that's a good early foul, but it's not. They're in the bonus.
But again, it's Peters making her presence felt inside in that dunker's area. She's really establishing position and holding it.
Had a big couple of weeks. 21 points against Sydney, 19 points against Geelong.
Oof. She just does a bit of everything for you and provides great flexibility defensively.
Averages of 15 points, 5 rebounds, about 1.5 assists and a steal. Shall lie, that's Izzy Bourne. Haley Peters averages the 12 points, 5.5 rebounds, nearly 3 assists.
And in the last 3 games, she's averaged 17 points.
Horvat working hard underneath the rim. And it trips over her own teammate. And once again, Townsville have settled. The Flyers lifted their intensity. And here's Ellis almost with the steal, but Reed regathers, hands it back to Rochi. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. They go to George, great teamwork.
Again, that
and I was going to say, don't settle for the 3.
Yep. Good read by Kayla George.
So as we turn for home here, Townsville Fire lead at 3/4 time, but the Flyers are coming. One more big final quarter to come. Townsville 68, Southside 58. We'll see you after the break for a big final turn. Three-quarter time at Parkville. Townsville Fire lead the Southside Melbourne Flyers by 10 points at the last break. Jess Webster with you in commentary this afternoon alongside former WNBL Coach of the Year Laurie Chiswick and 5-time champion and Olympian Michelle Timms. The Flyers made their move in the third, but Townsville answered the challenge to take a double-digit lead into the final break as we get set for the final quarter. Let's check in courtside to Jess Robinson. Jess.
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, at the Flyers bench, Christy Harrower saying the switch of play for the Fire is slowing them down, so make them pay for it. I also just want to note the fans sitting behind me at the scoreboard are very, very passionate about how their girl Maddie Rochi is being treated. That third term was hot and physical. She, of course, copped a couple of big knocks, but a few hands thrown up in the air behind me, and this top four clash is certainly delivering.
Showing their passion, it seems, Jess, in the stands. A massive final quarter to come. Rochi went for a three a couple of moments ago. Here she is off the glass for two.
Rochi had 8 in that last quarter and another 2, but Kayla George facilitating again.
Rochi up to a game-high 20 points. Here's Woods, up and in.
Well, they kept Woods quiet in that second quarter. She didn't score, so it's good to see her getting her scoring underway at the start of the fourth.
I'm wondering if she's still on limited minutes too. Because
she was 20 minutes the other day, and so far she's played virtually 21 minutes, so I would say maybe it's up to 30
she's
now.
off.
Third game back. Hamstring injury as Tara Reid makes a move while she wears the contact. Let's check it all out on the AMU replay. Good start here to the Flyers in the final term. This will send Tara Reid to the line for the three-point play.
And that's great post feed action. So get the ball into the post in Kayla George, and and make sure there's cutters off the ball, movement off the ball, so she has somebody to pass to. And in that instance, the recipient was Tara Reid.
I think the ball has to go through George's hands every time down the court. Doesn't mean she has to shoot it, but she's a great facilitator and organiser.
It's come off the shoe of Kayla George.
So this is a bit of a challenge time for Townsville right now. Southside are starting to exert some scoreboard pressure, so it'll be interesting to see if they can steady.
Olsen takes on Marissa. George with the rebound. Townsville will let it every change this afternoon as Reid gets fouled.
Townsville want to be careful not to get those cheap ones. Like that was unnecessary. I mean, Tara Reid's not a prolific three-point shooter, so you don't need to be that close on that catch.
George puts it up, comes up short, spills to Olsen, and races away. Goes all the way herself off the right. It rolls out at the final moment. It's kept alive. Well done by Peters. Rochi takes possession, scoots away, hands it into the corner for Marissa. Wants some support. Back to Peters. They settle things down. Rochi, Soa for company. Swinging across to Reid. Shot clock down to 5. Takes on Horvat off the right. Peters with a putback.
There's the X factor. Peters, but Rochi had falling on her on the switch there on that on-ball. She needed to turn the corner and just go to the bank.
Coach Shannon Seaborn does not like what he sees to start this final quarter. Margin back to 5 as we enter a timeout here in the last. Check out Hayley Peters on replay. So they've done what Christy Harrow would have wanted at three-quarter time. They've certainly lifted. Shannon Seaborn going to draw up for his players today, and let's have a listen to what Coach Shannon Seaborn had to say about the dynamic duo, Kayla George and Maddie Rochi, pre-game.
Yeah, look, we've got some schemes up our sleeve. You know, we're well aware they're both great players. I think Rochi's playing some of the best basketball she's played with the Flyers right now, so, you know, we definitely need to be ready to guard her.
So here come the Flyers. Got within 5. What do we think Coach Seaborn's having to say here?
Don't play the scoreboard here.
We might hear a little bit of it.
Yeah. Oh, he said, I would say, don't play the scoreboard. He's aware that scoreboard pressure is a big thing, so he just wants them to play, do what they've done so far to get into this position, be clinical, be confident in the process and the things that they've put in place.
And I don't know that we've seen them. In this game, I haven't seen them worried yet. You know, even though there is a little bit of scoreboard pressure, they've maintained poise. You know, they don't seem rushed. But the next few minutes will tell us how they're going to react.
And so is that what he means when he says don't play the scoreboard, don't get complacent by being in front?
No, not complacent. Mean don't feel stressed.
Don't feel pressure.
Don't feel rushed. Don't worry about it. A couple of teams have done that to them, i.e. Perth and Geelong, and they totally got taken away from their game.
See Christy Harrow at top of screen, barking out instructions.
Townsville's three-point shooting's cooled off a little bit, down to 38%, whereas they were 47 at half-time.
Soa under pressure by Marissa, green fringes.
It was a little unlucky. She played pretty good defence then, I thought. We'll see it on the Amy replay here. Good D. Oh, yeah, got the arm. Referee right on the baseline there.
And Soa is a 94.4% foul shooter.
It's crazy how well they shoot the free throw. Ellis is 91%.
I love the fact, because I feel like that's an area for some of the teams that they've really been let down this season, is that they're below 70 or in the low 70s, and at a very minimum at this level you should be 75 plus. But That's the person that I think's having a great last quarter and having a real impact for the Flyers is Tara Reid.
Let's head courtside to Jess Robinson, who was around the fire huddle at that last time out. Jess, what did you pick up?
Yeah, the message from Shannon Seaborn was maximise the mismatches that are starting to appear late in this game. Keep up the fast ball when they make the switch. And as you guys mentioned, it's too early to be playing the scoreboard.
Courtney Woods with a big three-pointer. Gives them some breathing room. Reid goes to ground. She was fouled.
Yeah, and Rochi there just barking instructions about fixing up that defence down the other end that created that shot for Townsville. It looked almost like a triangle defence on the one player. Three, she had the attention of three, leaving the wing wide open.
Rochi to George. Back to Maddie. Now looks to work away inside, handing it off to George. Great connection between those two.
Why?
That was threading the needle.
She's done that shot before. It's like my dad used to shoot like that. Bucket shot, but not behind his head.
She's #1 in the WNBL for assists per game. Maddie Rochi averaging a 6.6. Ball back misfires, spills to Reid. Townsville by 5.
Oh,
that's stolen away from Rochi by Fowler.
Really needed to be smart there, Laurie.
Handing it off to Soa. Back to Ellis. Swings it into the corner through the hands of Fowler. Couldn't believe it flew over her head, out of bounds, and a Flyers possession.
That is the old, no, think what I'm going to do before I catch the ball.
Spent it before she had it.
Or is it a little bit of pressure?
Yeah.
To the final 6 minutes of this contest. Peters. To Marissa, gets around Soa. It's nice work for 2.
Wow, we have a 3-point ball game with 5.5 minutes to go.
That was the margin at quarter time. Go in the Fowler direction. It's no good. They've owned this last quarter so far, Southside, but they haven't led until early stages of the first quarter. Rochi takes on Fowler, drops in.
The attack on the rim has been outstanding from Southside. It's really changed their game,
In the second half.
Yeah, in the yep.
Totally changed.
In the third quarter now, yep, in the second half.
To 22 points, Maddie Rochi having a super game. The Flyers within a point. Horvats misses. The referee has spotted a foul.
We're going to call defensive foul for hooking on Southside. As you can hear, one fan yelling out, "What?"
Take a look at the last bucket from Maddie Rochi.
Both teams on 3 team fouls with just under 5 to go.
Peters takes a rest on the bench.
As our trusted, esteemed colleague Damon Lowry would say, it's officially crunch time.
Courtney Woods from the baseline to inbound. Soa has stepped out of play, or was she fouled?
Fouled by Rochi.
Got to be smart because that's
sends it
sends
to the
him
line
to the
now.
foul line.
Yep.
So be aggressive, but what did you say, Jess? Be aggressive, but
controlled aggression.
Controlled aggression, that's the word.
So Soa finds herself at the line. Let's head courtside to Jess.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, the Flyers' defensive game is really proving strong between Izzy Bourne, Kayla George, Hayley Peters. They're all stacking up numbers on the rebound count. They're also holding Alicia Frolling's impact. She's only got less than 10 points and 3 rebounds, which is quite unusual for someone of her caliber. Laurie, Timsy, I ask you, is this where the fresh legs are going to come into play for the Flyers?
Nope.
Don't think it's going to play a role at all?
I just think no, not at this stage of the game. With 4 minutes to go, 4.5 minutes to go, it hasn't been a real prolific up and down game, frenetic pace. So no, I really don't think it will. Timsy?
Agreed. I concur.
Concur. Okay.
Oh.
It's kept alive by Bourne, is it? Oh. Townsville ball.
See that on the replay. Ooh, just
Referee was right there. Best seat in the house.
What a great game this packed crowd at Parkville have been able to experience on this round 13 Sunday afternoon match.
Here goes Soa. No good.
Chance to tie it up or bring it within one shot.
Oh, ouch. Alice and Rochi collide. Maddie Rochi's put her body on the line several times today. Doing a bit of lip reading there, Timsy?
Yes, I was, sorry.
She's getting to her feet.
Oof. I like how she put up her hands and say, what the hell? Oh, I just don't think she realised how close she was to her.
She's one tough customer. Takes a deep breath and restarts play. Fire by 3. Rochi back to her feet. Can't knock it down. And tie scores up. Final 3.5 minutes to play. Fire's lead was 10 at 3/4 time. And they steady the ship through Horvat. One-on-one against Reed. She gets the bucket. And we're heading to a timeout. 3 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock. Townsville by 5, 78-73. They've led it every change. 3 points at quarter time, 12 at halftime, 10 at 3/4 time. Flyers got pretty close in the last couple of minutes. Townsville have steadied a little bit.
I like what Chantal Horvat's brought every time she comes on the court. I mean, she's got 8 points, but it's just her toughness, her work rate.
Yeah.
It's those sort of things that aren't necessarily statable that she's so good at.
And such great energy. She brings such good energy and great help defense.
So what would the two of you have to say in this last timeout if you were either coach?
If I was Christy, I'd be having to go. Although you shouldn't, you just got to move on. But they've learned the formula. The magic formula is to get ball movement, get penetration, be it pass or dribble. And we don't need a three-point shot early on the clock as we just got. So I'd be correcting that and yeah, rolling the ball out. What do you reckon, Laurie? But that'd be something I'd be talking about. We know how to get this thing done.
Well, with Christy too, I think the ball can't stick in hands. It's got to move from player to player or with penetration, because as soon as it sticks, Townsville adjusts their defense and they get everybody set. So, you know, that's what they, you know, want to endeavor to try and do. Easier said than sitting here in the commentary.
No, you're right. Townsville are a great defensive team. They'll be loading that split line up if you stick it.
Well, they're the second best defensive team in the competition, averaging 72 points against.
Here's an example why, but Maddie Rochi says, not in my house. What a game she's having this afternoon.
I thought Alice was going to get behind her head. There she was.
Look at
and
this.
Then Rochi said, not in my house.
Unreal effort from Maddie Rochi. 22 points today, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals and a block. She's doing everything she can to get her side over the line. They still trail Townsville by 5. 3 minutes to play. Woods to Fowler. They go to Horvat, back out to Woods, who stands and delivers.
I'm just so impressed with their poise.
Yeah.
And they don't get rattled. They just take their time. They look to see who's open. They move. So impressive. That's a well-drilled machine.
23 points for Courtney Woods. Welcome back indeed. After that hamstring injury, Bourne for three.
They are not going to lay down Southside and hand the win to Townsville on a platter. They are going to fight to the end.
This contest has lifted a few notches. What do we got left? Woods makes a move, adds another couple of points. 25 points for Courtney Woods. A new season high for her. 2 minutes on the clock. George bounces off the rim. Bourne with an important rebound. She just keeps it alive.
She's been great on the offensive board tonight.
Oh, look at the mismatch with Kayla George and Soa.
Screaming for it.
Wow.
And George capitalizes.
Took a long time to get her the ball. She's lucky she didn't get called for 3 seconds.
Oh, well, I was thinking that was coming.
Townsville 83, Southside 78. Ball that to Woods. Oh, good little hand in there from Peters. Breaks it up. Rochi takes it away. This is a big moment in the context of the game, and it's stolen away by Ellis.
Great hands by Abby Ellis.
Soa for the killer blow.
Not this time. What a battle we've seen all afternoon between Maddie Rochi and Abby Ellis.
5 points the margin. A minute left on the clock. Bourne through contact. She's going to head to the line for a pair.
And Bourne a pretty good free throw shooter at 74% from the free throw line.
17 points, 9 rebounds for Izzy Bourne this afternoon.
Massive on the boards. It's really kept them in this game.
Well, considering they had 0 foul shots at halftime, they're up to now. This will be the 11th one they've taken.
Oh, a bit short. Lane violation.
Now it's really important clock management here. Everybody needs to know the score, the clock, not just the point guards, everybody to know what sort of shot you need if you're in Southside situation.
60 seconds left. Woods to Horvat. Works her way inside. Fouled. Oh, he should go to the line for 2.
The other important thing all game, but especially now, is that when it's a one-on-one situation, you must, especially against Townsville, you've got to be able to, as unfortunately that's the end of George with 5 fouls, but you've got to be able to win your one-on-one battle, Laurie. When when the man's just putting the ball on the floor and going, you've got to, especially against Townsville, who want that rotation, who want that help to come.
Kayla George for the final 48 seconds. A big blow to the Flyers.
2 shots down now.
So they need a quick hitter.
Any shot's a good shot. She makes this at 6.
Here we go, all or nothing for the Flyers. They're down by 6.
Plenty of time.
To Reed. She'll head to the line for 2.
She needed to make that.
Yeah, just didn't get the roll. She's disappointed in herself with that one.
Oh, missed both.
0 from 2.
Either way, it's still a 2-possession game, I guess, but it would have been good if it had been 81-85.
The task is 6 points with 36 seconds left. So we've got Rochi, Marissa, Reed, Peters, Bourne on the floor for the Flyers, Horvat, Soa, Woods, Fowler and Ellis for Townsville. Been a great contest all afternoon. Townsville have led for much of it. Can they steal it away, the Flyers? Bourne makes it count.
They need to be up and in full court.
She fouls immediately.
And another great
90,
foul
yeah,
shooting.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, Laurie.
Well, the thing is right now, before these foul shots are taken, Townsville are 16 from 19. So 84% free throw shooting in this game, and 16 points. And the margin right now is 4 points. You know, so some of that, yes, might have been some questionable calls, but foul discipline for the Flyers could have been, you know, really hurt them this game.
George being out when they're going to need a 3.
87-81.
Do you put Pooch back on? Manny, great. I mean, she's known for big 3-pointers.
Timeout on the floor with 34 seconds left. So who will get it done for the Flyers? So with George out, they look to go, Hayley Peters been the X factor. Maddie Rocci has had a fantastic game with 22 points. Who's their match winner in these moments?
She's sitting on the bench, unfortunately, but, but oh, look.
Well, maybe Maddie Rocci in this game. She's having such a good game, but they'll be really defending her. Locke's a 40% foul shooter, or 3-point shooter. Olsen's generally a good shooter for Townsville, but that's not who they need right now. That's not what Southside need is Olsen shooting threes.
Well, the other one is Bourne. In the last, you know, the last 3 games, she's averaged 44% from the 3-point line.
Top spot is theirs if they win today, Townsville.
Maybe you want to get a quick hitter and let Horvat catch the ball, who's probably their weakest free throw shooter, and send her to the. I mean, there's so many things that you could.
I just don't know there's enough
try.
possessions in this, especially seeing as though Townsville has such good free throw shooting. But you're right on who you'd foul.
But they're not only just good foul shooting team. They're just they don't panic right in situations like this.
That's what makes Townsville such a great side. There's not a lot of weak links there.
There she is.
Lock.
Let's lock.
Oh, comes up short. That would have been something.
Good play. She was just probably a little deeper than she needed to be, but that was a great play.
And well executed and got a wide open shot.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want in this situation. This is a really good win for Townsville.
It's not over. What are you talking about? Hush yourself.
You still think it's time?
There's 30 seconds.
Well, that's true.
88 down.
That's probably true. I probably called it a little early there, although with these foul shots by Woods. Can I call it after she makes this one?
Well, what is it now? It's 8 points, 3 possessions. Get on your bike, off you go. You got to get one early. There you go.
This has to go down from Izzy Bourne. It does!
Okay, I'm happy to be proved wrong.
Only 2 possessions.
Timsy says game on.
And that's the one you want to foul, Laurie. They
There
heard
you go. There you go. Okay, I withdraw my talk about Townsville.
Stop talking about having a...
Oh my goodness. That's exactly what you want is a quick hitter like that. Really good.
Chantal Horvat, 60% free throw shooter so far this season. Pressure on her shoulders at the moment.
Well, she's had that type of game. It deserved to go into for her, to be honest.
Yeah.
She's been super. Still 6 points if she misses this one, so they need 2 threes.
Oh, 1 from 2. And Bourne, who's been dominant on the rebounds today, hands it to Rocci. Peters to Marissa, pulls the trigger. No good. Fowler with the rebound.
Can I call it yet?
Yeah, now you can.
They led at every change today, Townsville. Southside threw everything at them. But top spot on the WNBL ladder is theirs. They take down the Flyers 90-84. Great game of hoops we've witnessed on this Sunday afternoon at Parkville. Flyers shot out of the gates. Townsville steadied to take a 3-point lead into quarter time. They extended it to 12 at half time. Down to 10 at three-quarter time. They made a couple of runs in that final quarter, the Flyers, but ultimately the Fire steadied.
Well, I think it was a really a high-quality game and a good test for both teams. Townsville was really challenged, and they had to steady, and so they've now gone into top spot. But the Fire, whilst they lost, show that they can be really competitive against a top team.
Absolutely. Can we talk about the top 4 now? Enough of this top 3 business. Is it all right to put them in the mix or not? I'm saying it is. I'm calling it. Still a lot to work on for Southside Flyers, though. They did lose their way, as you both mentioned, but they, as you said, Laurie, they weathered the storm and came back and gave themselves a chance.
Courtney Woods was absolutely superb today for the Fire. A new season high 27 points for her, alongside 3 rebounds, 4 assists. She led the way from a scoring point of view for the Fire.
Do you know that she had 16? She didn't score. She had 16 at half and didn't score in the third quarter.
Yeah,
that's 27 3/4. You're right.
Yeah.
And she is downstairs with our very own Jess Robertson. Over to you, Jess.
Courtney, the Flyers threw everything at you. What a battle that was.
Yeah, I think Southside, we kind of said before the game, we think they're probably the most informed team at the moment. I think they're coming off 3 wins in a row, so we knew it was going to be an absolute battle. We played a lot of games this week, but it's really great to get a win.
Oh, you are the player of today's match. Returning from injury as well. You've only had a couple of games back, a season-high performance. What do you make of that?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a bit of a weird week. I was out for 2.5 and then trained once, and then I was in there, but it's great to just be back with the girls, and that was probably the first game I felt physically not ill. So yeah, I was really happy to finally be running around. Hopefully just continue building and stay healthy.
Well, I love that for you. How about the clash with Maddie Rochi? She is a brick. Takes a lot to knock her down.
Yeah, absolutely. Maddie's one of those players, you know, every time you go against, you're going to get 100% from her offense and defense. Same with Kayla, same as Izzy. So it's great to have a matchup like that in the middle of the season. So hopefully we can keep building and hopefully make finals.
Well, an amazing win, and enjoy a few days off now.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Courtney.
Well, what a performance it was from Courtney Woods. Led her side with 27 points today as the Townsville Fire make it 2 in a row in round 13. That win against Geelong on Friday night. A win here this afternoon. She was outstanding.
All I know is that our Tuesday night crew for the WNBL show are going to have to make way for Courtney Woods back into that
we'll look
team
forward
of the year.
to seeing that on Tuesday night. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back.
No pressure.
No pressure, Laurie. We'll be back to wrap it all up for you after the break. See you soon. Welcome back to Parkville. A strong 6-point win to the Townsville Fire this afternoon. They beat the Flyers 90-84. Jess Webster with you alongside Laurie Chiswick and Michelle Timms. As we take a look at the ladder, I must correct myself, Bendigo still on top. Townsville have more wins than the Spirit, but their win percentage is slightly better. So they do hang on for top spot for now, but a strong win to Townsville.
I'm saying Townsville's on top. They got 14 wins.
Maths has never been my strong suit, Timsy. But the Fire get it done today. They'll take a lot of confidence out of that this afternoon. So what a win it was. They led by 3 at quarter time. They turned it into a 12-point advantage at half time. Southside came home strong, but ultimately it was the Fire who came out on top by 6 points. Courtney Woods top scored with 27 points as they make it 2 in a row on Sunday afternoon. See you soon.